our top stories. Speaker issues ultimatum, defied councils under scrutiny. Tiseza excels, sets record despite turbulent times.
We have registered 177 projects on the first quarter, which expect to bring into the country at least $1.12 billion worth of investment.
Good evening. I am Cherry Mfaranyanga. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online, and let's get all the latest news through Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has made appointments, transfers, revocations, and assigned one ambassador to a duty station. According to a statement issued by the Chief Secretary, Dr. Moses Kusulika, the changes involve the appointment of Dr. James Mwanyekula as the Director General of the Energy and Water Utilities Regulatory Authority, AWURA, which has been revoked, and he'll be assigned other duties. Professor Palamagamba Kabudi has been appointed as the Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office, responsible for policy, parliament, coordination, and persons with disabilities. Before this appointment, Professor Kabudi was serving as a Minister of State in the President's office, State House for Special Duties. Ruben Kwagilwa has been transferred from the Prime Minister's office, TAMISEMI, to become Deputy Minister in the Vice President's office, responsible for Union Affairs and Environment. Dr. Festa Dugange has been transferred from the Vice President's office to become Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's office, TAMISEMI, where he'll handle education matters. Dr. Ali Jabir Madini has been appointed as Secretary to the President. In addition, Dr. Evelyn Munisi has been appointed as a Member of Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, and Angela Kiziga has also been appointed as the Member of Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania. The statement further notes that Ambassador Said Othman Yakub has been assigned as Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania to France. The swearing-in ceremony for the Minister and Deputy Ministers will take place on a date to be announced earlier. The Speaker of the Parliament, Musa Azan Zungu, has issued a 6-day ultimatum to the government to submit a list of all councils that have failed to comply with the government's directive to purchase malaria drugs, which has led to the further spread of the disease affecting the population. Zungu made the directive in the Parliament in Dodoma earlier today during the Prime Minister's questions and answers session, insisting that strict action will be taken against all the councils that will be proved to have ignored the order. Here are more details.
The directives were given when a special seat member of the Parliament, Rose Tweve, wanted to know the government's state on councils that failed to comply with the government directives, despite the councils being given funds to purchase malaria drugs.
Honorable Prime Minister, it is unfortunate that when we visited the factory, we found that some local government authorities had not implemented the directive. As a result, the factory has been forced to store medicines that were already procured by the government. My question to you, Honorable Prime Minister, is what is the government's position regarding these councils that have shown negligence by failing to comply with this directive?
His inquiry was answered by the government, where the Prime Minister, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, issued a directive to the Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office, and local government and the regional administration.
Kwa kuzingatia swali la mheshimiwa mbunge na maelekezo hayo,
taking into account the honorable member's question and the explanation provided, I would like to direct the Ministers of State in the Prime Minister's Office, TAMISEMI, to follow up with all local government authorities that have not yet fulfilled their responsibility. They must adhere to the issued timeline and ensure that the exercise is completed by June. Therefore, all councils that have not yet complied should collect the medicines between now and May, so that from June onwards, they can proceed with distribution in order to eliminate malaria.
Speaker of the Parliament, Musa Azan Zungu, used the opportunity to reinforce the instructions issued.
Halmashauri zote zokaidi agizo hili.
All councils that defy this directive must ensure that before 2 p.m. on 8th, the list has been submitted to the Clerk of the National Assembly. Anyone who will be found in one way or another to have fined or undermined this directive will face action.
Moja ya pili, kukaidi, kudharau hatua kali sana zitachukua juu yao.
Furthermore, other members of the parliament used the opportunity to air their views on the Prime Minister's speech, which was given yesterday.
This Parliament Honorable Deputy Speaker must serve the interest of Tanzanians, and Honorable Prime Minister, this is your moment to address the concerns that the citizens have been raising so that the government can take action to them.
Honorable Prime Minister, you have done a great job. My people even traveled all the way to Tanga to see you and seek clarity on the future of their land. I kindly request for an official government statement regarding the land dispute between the Swaga area and the residents.
Na mgogoro wa Swaga pamoja na watumiaji wetu na nchi wetu wengine wa ardhi.
Our country's tourism sector is growing, as you can all see, and we sincerely thank the Honorable President for promoting it effectively through the films she has produced, which has delivered significant results. However, there is a major challenge in service delivery. Many tourists complain that the quality of our services is poor, even in hotels.
And now heading to Zanzibar, the president of Zanzibar and the chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, says Tanzanians have a key responsibility to ensure that union, peace, stability, and national unity are protected, insisting that the union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar is a cornerstone of national cohesion. Dr. Mwinyi made the remarks earlier during the launch of the Uhuru Torch at Gombani Stadium, Pemba South.
The torch race carries a message about malaria, a disease that continues to pose a major challenge in the country's health sector. Statistics from the Ministry of Health for the year 2025 show that approximately 6.2%, equivalent to about 2.8 million outpatients, were affected by malaria. Additionally, among hospitalized patients, about 199,000 cases were recorded, with 11% suffering from malaria. Most of those affected were children under the age of 5 and pregnant women.
On the other hand, the president of Zanzibar and the chairman of the Revolutionary Council says the fight against malaria has made great strides in controlling it, where in 2025 the infection rate has decreased from 8.1% in 2022 to 5.5% in 2025. President Mwinyi urges and calls on leaders to embrace peaceful politics, which is a key prerequisite to development, commending security organs for maintaining peace. And on to the next story. The Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority, TISEZA, has registered 177 investment projects valued at $1.122 billion between December 2025 and March 2026, signaling strong growth in the country's investment landscape. TISEZA Executive Director Gilles Terry says the newly registered projects are expected to generate approximately 19,750 jobs, boosting employment opportunities across various sectors.
We have registered 177 projects on the first quarter, which expect to bring into the country at least $1.12 billion worth of investment in our country and create close to 20,000 jobs. This is an excellent economic performance on a backdrop of the year of an election that last year was. And it reflects the confidence that investors, both domestic and foreign, have on our economy. And we would like really to congratulate Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan on a stellar economic performance that really has driven investment, not only from foreign countries, also from domestic sources.
He further outlines the manufacturing sector dominates the investment portfolio, accounting for 51% of all registered projects. Other key sectors include tourism, commercial real estate, and agriculture.
1% of all the investment we registered is in manufacturing. And this creates quite a significant prospects for job creations for Tanzanian youth, as well as the dominance of the Tanzanian economy within the East African region as an industrial powerhouse. The other sectors is transit, trade, and logistics. The third one is tourism. The fourth one is real estate, commercial, as well as the fifth one is agriculture. And we think that this diversity of sectors is what makes Tanzania a very significant investment powerhouse.
He also highlights that Asian countries remain the leading source of foreign investment, contributing 39% of total capital and accounting for 60% of the anticipated jobs. Regionally, investment activities remains concentrated in the coastal region and Dar es Salaam, which continue to attract the highest number of projects. To discuss furthermore on this new positive investment trend, I am joined live in the studio with the Executive Director of Tanzania Investment and Special Economic Zones Authority, TISEZA, Terry. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We've had the ongoing issues in the Middle East. Has they in any way maybe escalated or disrupted your plans for TISEZA?
So if we look at the numbers that we have had for this particular year, between January and March 2026, we have registered 177 projects, which is an increase compared to the same month last year. We have registered at least $1.2 billion worth of investment, and we expect close to 20,000 jobs just from the first 3 months. So while the world is in turmoil and there are some disruptions, definitely the private sector and the investors will feel that. But within Tanzania, the first 3 months have been quite a good stellar performance for the Tanzanian economy. And we really appreciate that the stability and the leadership that's provided by Her Excellency in the government is what has given not only foreign investors, but also domestic investors the confidence to invest in Tanzania.
Oh, that's a really good trend. We out of the 177 newly registered projects now, which sectors are attracting the most investors, and what does this tell us about the investment climate in Tanzania generally?
Good question. So these are the first top 5 sectors in terms of investment in our country. Manufacturing is number 1, and it accounts for at least 51% of all the investments that we registered in the last 3 months. But the second one is transportation. Tourism is number 3. Number 4 is commercial real estate. And number 5 is agriculture. So when you look at this, this means opportunities are all over our country. People who are in manufacturing, sometimes they prefer to stay quite close to where logistics centers are, including the coastal area. Tourism, it's all across the country, and agriculture, it's all over. So as much as these are the leading sectors, all other sectors have also witnessed increased investment for the first 3 months. And we believe that the prospects of job creation through this number of investment is what will make Tanzania have a very bright future and a good growing economy.
Okay, and there's also been an ongoing concern that large investment projects do not always translate into meaningful local employment. And how is TISEZA ensuring these investments create real job opportunities for Tanzanians, and what mechanisms are there to promote the skill transfer and further participation?
So one of the things that Her Excellency did when she came into power is to empower Tanzanians to be able to become employers. The first thing that she did, she lowered the threshold for Tanzanian to be registered as an investor. So now it is 10 times easier for a Tanzanian to be an investor compared to a foreigner. And what that has done, it has made the number of investment projects that Tanzanians participate in go up. From the time when Her Excellency came into office in 2021, that number was 10%. Last year, we reached 50%. And the last quarter, we reached 57%. It means it is the Tanzanians themselves that are investors, that are engaging in joint ventures with foreigners, and their number is much bigger than foreigners. So the first wave of ensuring that Tanzanian projects or investment projects, they materialize is by making sure that it is the Tanzanians themselves that actually run this project. And then the second phase is making sure that we have the laws and very robust mechanism that ensure that all the registration projects that is registered within TISEZA actually materializes. And this is the work that we do together with the Bureau of Statistics, with the Bank of Tanzania, to making sure that all the investment that we say is coming into the country actually comes into the country. And definitely the economic environment that we have now under the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan provides enough confidence for all these investors, not only foreigners, but also Tanzanians to come and invest in our country.
Okay, and beyond registration now, what systems does TISEZA have to track that these projects are actually being implemented in terms of job creation, technology transfer? Are there any ways to ensure that these projects are specifically being implemented?
Exactly. So we have 2 ways to do that. One, we have a one-stop facilitation center where we have 16 government agencies, including our colleagues from the Labor Department, tracking each of the projects and the number of projects that they register. We do this monitoring on day-to-day basis, on monthly basis, and we also provide the reports on quarterly basis. The second part is we make sure that we have offices all across the country in our regional office and our zone office that are there to make sure that projects, they hit the ground, and making sure that if any investors, including local investors, if they have any challenge, they have the support through TISEZA to make sure that they succeed. And what we want is jobs, jobs, jobs. And when we see these kind of investment numbers, we are optimistic that Her Excellency and her government makes sure, prioritizes, and ensure that all Tanzanians will have jobs.
Okay, thank you very much, Terry, for such a good analysis.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and on to the next news. The Executive Director of the Public-Private Partnership Center, David Kafulila, says the 2026-2027 financial year will place strong emphasis on enhancing public understanding of the critical role the private sector plays in implementing strategic national projects, particularly in key sectors such as energy, infrastructure, and service delivery, noting that the public-private partnerships will be instrumental in accelerating sustainable development. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam during a 2-day training for journalists aimed at strengthening their capacity to effectively report on PPP initiatives, he emphasizes that informed and accurate storytelling through the media is essential in building public awareness, fostering transparency, and creating a shared national vision on the impact and opportunities presented by public-private partnerships.
Actually, by July, this 2026 will be the starting of the financial year 2026-2027. And according to the projected budget for the first 5-year, not the fourth 5-year development plan, which is the first 5-year development plan for the new vision 2050, it is projected that development projects will cost more than 477 trillion NT shillings. And 70% of it should be mobilized through alternative financing, of which PPP normally plays a lion's share of it. So going forward, it means that we have to put much effort in shifting the mindset of the public to accept the role of private sector, especially PPP setting, in implementation of this strategic project, especially in infrastructure like transport infrastructure, energy infrastructure, of course, and other service infrastructures. So PPP is going to play a critical role because 70% means more than 300 trillion. More than 334 trillion should be undertaken through alternative financing, of which PPPs play the lion's share of it. And that's being the case, it means we have to make sure the public gets awareness on how PPP works and what is the plan, what is the vision going forward to make sure that we accelerate the implementation of the PPP program in our country within this within this 5-year development plan, which is going to start by financial year 2026-2027 up to 2030-31. So that's number one. And of course, the PPP Center, we have decided to engage a series of dialogues. Of course, we are undertaking a series of dialogues with intellectuals, of course, some from the private sector, some from a financial institution, some from research institution. The purpose is to make a common understanding.
The medical officer in charge of Temeke Municipal Council, Dr. Jonas Lulandala, says Tanzania continues to make steady progress in reducing infant mortality, driven by the adoption of modern medical technologies and sustained efforts to strengthen the healthcare system. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam while visiting Amana Referral Hospital, which is one of the pilot hospitals in the Breathing for Babies project, where he further elaborated that this progress is increasingly visible in public health facilities, where advanced neonatal care equipment is improving survival rates among premature babies. Caroline Malao reports.
At Amana Regional Referral Hospital in Dar es Salaam, neonatal services have been significantly strengthened through the introduction of advanced patient monitoring systems, including IMPRO monitors designed to support the care of preterm and critically ill newborns. Installed within neonatal intensive care units, and connected directly to the nurses' stations. The devices enable continuous real-time monitoring of vital signs, allowing for timely medical interventions and improved clinical outcomes.
And these are the efforts of our government of Tanzania with implementing partners, whom together are aimed to save the lives of our children.
On her part, President of the Pediatric Association of Tanzania, Dr. Theophista Masenge, says despite notable progress in reducing child mortality, more targeted interventions are needed to further reduce neonatal deaths.
Statistics are telling us that the neonatal mortality has gone down, but it's not that much, because if you translate the Tanzania Demographic Health Survey numbers, 24 per 1,000 live births, it means like 55,000 babies are dying each year. But if we translate to a daily death, it is equal to almost 150. And it's a big milestone, but we really wish to have these babies surviving. So we are calling upon all partners, the government and everyone, to work together with the Pediatric Association of Tanzania to ensure that these babies are surviving.
Meanwhile, the co-principal investigator of the Breathing for Babies project, Martha Mkona, says the initiative has played a critical role in enabling health facilities with life-saving technologies.
So BFB's program is a research implementation research that is conducted in the Western region in 6 facilities, 3 district hospitals and 3 regional hospitals, Amana, Temeke and Mwananyamala.
The registrar at Amana Hospital, Dr. Salome Mwalongo, commended the continued support from partners and calls for increased collaboration to further improve neonatal care and save more lives.
Thank BFB. They have provided us with a CPAP machine together with the monitoring devices, which helps us to reduce the workload. But we're still in need of more CPAP machines, especially the VI ones.
The founder of Goal 3, Dr. Niek Verstej, says the introduction of patient monitoring technologies has significantly improved survival outcomes for premature babies and calls on more partners to support the expansion of such initiatives.
So for us, it's really about scaling this up, and therefore this project is also very important to work with partners to make sure that we really define what is needed to be successful in this setting at scale, and how can we scale that further with partners like PET, like the Breathing for Babies team, the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders.
Stakeholders say sustained investment, innovation, and strong partnerships remain essential in ensuring every newborn has a fighting chance to not only survive but also thrive. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
Efforts to strengthen financial resilience in Tanzania's agricultural sector have received a boost following the launch of a new initiative aimed at expanding agricultural insurance in the country. The program, led by the United Nations Development Program in collaboration with stakeholders under the Tanzania Agricultural Insurance Consortium, seeks to protect farmers against climate-related risks while promoting sustainable investment in agriculture. Here is more. Agriculture remains the backbone of Tanzania's economy, yet many farmers continue to face growing risk linked to climate change, including droughts and floods. Stakeholders now say agricultural insurance could play a critical role in protecting farmers and strengthening livelihoods. The UNDP resident representative Shigeki Komatsubara says agricultural insurance should not only be viewed as a financial tool, but also a resilience-building solution.
Agricultural insurance should therefore be seen not only as a market instrument, but also as a resilient instrument that protects farmers, strengthens livelihoods, reduces vulnerability to climate shocks, and supports recovery from losses. I therefore respectfully call upon TIRA, the government of Tanzania, and relevant sector institutions to continue advancing this agenda and to work closely with TAIC so that agricultural insurance becomes part of the national system rather than remaining at its margins.
Stakeholders say collaboration will be key in ensuring farmers are better protected.
The success of this initiative
depends on our collective responsibility, the collective vision and leadership, collaboration, and together we can build a future where Tanzanian farmers are better protected, empowered to invest, and able to thrive in the face of uncertainty.
Beyond protection, officials say the initiative is also designed to strengthen investment and build a more resilient agricultural sector.
Protect investment, sustain investment, and attract investment. And within the UNDP mandate, especially on the insurance for development, we are looking into building resilient communities, resilient government, resilient businesses, resilient nature, and resilient food system.
Insurance providers involved in the initiative say expanding coverage will directly benefit smallholder farmers, especially those in rural areas.
Confidently that the small-scale farmer will be benefited from these solutions, agriculture insurance solutions. At the end of the day, they will get high productivity, and after having high productivity, they will get more. If I can give you an example, suppose a farmer is going to plant maize, and having high productivity, they will get more harvest. At the end of the day, they get more income.
Develop products for smallholder farmers. At the same time, we'll be able to find a good risk coverage system, which would assist in placement of the risks and also eventually to be able to settle the claims.
As climate risks continue to threaten agricultural productivity, stakeholders believe scaling up agricultural insurance could be key to protecting farmers, strengthening food systems, and driving sustainable growth in the sector. Teddy Paranyanga, TBC News. Tanzania's Monetary Policy Committee has maintained the central bank rate at 5.275% for the second quarter of 2026 as it seeks to balance inflation control and economic growth amid rising global uncertainty. The committee says the decision reflects a cautious policy stance, largely influenced by escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, which continue to disrupt global trade, investment flows, and the economic stability.
So the MPC observed that the ongoing geopolitical tension in the Middle East has, profound implication to our economy. However, thus far, our economy has demonstrated resilience, with growth in the first quarter of 2026 estimated at 6.2% in the mainland Tanzania and 6.7% in Zanzibar. And this is driven by construction, agriculture, financial insurance services, and tourism. Private sector credit growth has been steady at 22.8%. And this is on the back of accommodative monetary policy and strong demand by businesses and households. The outlook in the second quarter of this year also remains resilient and robust.
And before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
My name is Godfrey Kazinja. I present 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. For tonight, we expect future particular condition, thunder shower over a few areas over the southern Western Highland, southern Morogoro, southern region together with the southern coast. The rest part of our country expect future particular condition. For tomorrow, average wind speed expected over the most part of our country, and rainfall signal are over southern part of our country. For tomorrow, expect future particular condition, thunder shower over few areas in sun period over Kagera, Geita, Mwanza, Kigoma, Katavi, southern Western Highland, southern part of Morogoro region together with southern region and southern coast, while northern coast including northern part of Morogoro region. Expect future particular condition, light rain shower over few areas and sun period. The rest part of our country expect future particular condition and long sun period. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather forecast for some part of our country, starting from the day after tomorrow. Dar es Salaam expect future rain shower together with thunder shower. Dodoma expect future particular condition, light rain shower together with thunder shower. Mbeya expect future thunder shower over few areas. Likewise, Mwanza expect future thunder shower over few areas. Kilimanjaro expect future light rain shower together with thunder shower. Morogoro expect future particular condition, thunder shower over few areas. Arusha expect future light rain shower together with thunder shower. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good time.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Teddy Mpranyanga. Have a lovely, lovely night.
Naangalia TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.